Alright, excellent. Looks like we have about 1 minute to go, and I think we might as well go ahead and get started as soon as 8 o'clock rolls around, because the top of the hour is when it starts, and we will probably wrap it up in a quick 30 minutes or less. This is meant to just give leaders some pointers and direction as they lead their team through the CashFlowShow Game. And the most important people are the ones that are on time. And so I think we'll just go ahead and get started. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about how to move your teams forward. A lot of times I get emails that say, you know, I can't get the e-learning, I can't see the classes, and I want to show you as leaders how you can tell what's going on with your team. So after you log in, of course, and we've been over this before, the first thing you should really do each day is check to see if you have any new friends, because new friends are people who joined through your link. They came through your unique URL, cashflowshowgame.com/your username. And so that way you can greet them and put them on the appropriate team, because when they first log in, they're a little bit confused. So after we have games going, now tonight's Tuesday, new game starts tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Every Wednesday, games end and games start. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the game tab, and I'm going to go to the leaderboard. Now, a lot of times, as I said, when people email me like so-and-so can't see the game, so-and-so isn't getting any scores, or can't see the e-learning. So you can go to the leaderboard and select which game you want to sort by, and you'll notice it's sorting by all active matches. In other words, all the matches that are either up and coming or all the matches that are in progress now. The easiest thing to do is to pick the week you want to look at. For example, let's look at all the matches that started on August 31st. We can just select that from this little drop down box and take a quick look at those. It's going to bring them up. So there we have them. Now you'll notice that terrific team number 11, and if you do this each day, you can keep tabs on what's going on with your team. Go to terrific team number 11, which started on August 31st. So that means they're going to end tomorrow. Now I see that some people haven't entered any scores at all, and Angela and Andrietta have. And so I can go to the wall now right from here. This is, if you remember correctly, terrific team number 11, and I can go over here to the side wall. These are all my teams on the left, and I can click, which I did this a little bit earlier. Hi Vicki, glad to see you joined us. We're talking about checking your team on the team leaderboard. And so what I did was go to my game tab and then sorted, what did I do? I went to the leaderboard next, and then sorted by the professionalism game for August 31st. And so now I'm looking at all the teams that started the professionalism game on August 31st. And when I check out terrific team number 11, you can see that there's only 2 people that have recorded any scores. Now this game is ending tomorrow because it started on the 31st, and therefore it ends tonight at midnight, and they can start a new game tomorrow. But they can't move on to the next game unless they record scores. They're not on record as having played a game unless they record scores. So one thing I might do at this point is, you'll notice they're in free trial game. That means that they're still in their free game trial. But I might go over and visit Amy's wall and see, because a lot of people zip through the learning, and then if they did, on her wall she would have her e-learning certificate, and she would be able to, and I would know that she already took all her e-learning, but it's obvious that she hasn't taken her e-learning and she has acquired no trophies. So I'm going to just hit the back button, if I can find it. There it is, hidden. And I'm going to go right from this team wall onto my team. This was pro team number 11. And so I'm going to go right over here on the left hand side of your screen. We have my teams. These are all the teams that I manage, and they started at 1 week intervals. And as you can see, I've numbered them: Terrific Team 9, Terrific Team 10. But what I also do is change the name. In other words, when Terrific Team 9 moves on to Home Party Plan, I'll change the name to Terrific Team 9 parentheses HPP Home Party Plan. And that way I can see at a glance. In this case, Terrific Team number 11 is still in the pro game. And so I'm going to jump over here to the wall and make a comment, which I did earlier tonight, and say, hey, Terrific Team number 11, your game ends tomorrow. And so get some points on tonight so that you can raise your score on the leaderboard. And tonight's the last night to record scores. You know, direct sellers, their most important thing that they want in life is more bookings. And so in order to move on to the Finding Business game, they have to be on record as played a game. Unless they record scores on the leaderboard on their scorecard, they will not be on record as playing the game. But they also must finish the e-learning. So I already made a comment on my team wall, and so that's what these My Team links are, taking you straight to a specific team wall. And so on a daily basis, I come in. Now I'm going to go hit the back button, and I see that, say, Angela and Andretta have both recorded scores, and so they're literally on the record as playing this game. So they're officially able to move on, provided that they finish the e-learning. Now what I can do two things from this screen. I can visit Angela's wall, and I can see that she has not completed her e-learning, but since she has recorded points, tomorrow she will be able to move on to another game, provided she finishes the e-learning. And so no university courses taken means that she hasn't completed them. Had she could literally still be playing the game, still playing the professionalism game, but already have a cap there, which would mean that she's finished the e-learning. And then tomorrow, since she did record scores, she will have a trophy there, even if she didn't complete her e-learning. And so at that point, the decision would be for her to finish her e-learning so that she can move on to the professionalism game. Let me show you that in a different person. Let's see what Andretta did here. I'm going to visit her wall. Am I going too fast for you? Making you crazy? Okay. Now she's recorded 190 points, as you can see. But she hasn't completed her e-learning, and she doesn't have a trophy yet. She will have a trophy tomorrow, since she did record scores. So let's go back now to the leaderboard and look at another team to show you another example. Let's see here. What am I doing? Okay. So now I'm back on the leaderboard. We looked at the professionalism game. Now let's look at the Finding Business game. You could have teams playing Finding Business and professionalism. You could have teams playing different levels of games if they follow the progression. In a minute I'm going to show you some of the e-learning modules for some of the other games so that you understand a little better why we recommend a certain pattern and a certain progression. Okay, so here we are. I just sorted the leaderboard out by Finding Business game. So these are all the active matches in the Finding Business game. I could sort it out a little further and take it by the start date, but these are all the games that have started either on 8/31 or 9/7. So Terrific Team number 10, take a look here. I'm going to click on Terrific Team number 10. Like, what's up with them? Nobody has any scores. Well, when I go there, I can see that these players have only one of them has upgraded into a paying account. In other words, Norma is the only one that is a true player. Everybody else, once they move into free account, they have completed their free trial game and have not upgraded. So Norma is the only one, even though the rest of these players are on a team that's enrolled in the Finding Business game. It started on September 7th. It's time to give them a call. As a team leader, you could give them a call and say, hey, I just launched the Finding Business game, and you're going to be playing it for 2 weeks. Every direct seller wants more business, and this is an awesome game. And you joined direct sales for a reason. And if you in any way need more business, for $9 a month, you just upgrade to a player, and then the e-learning will open up for you. So let's take a look at Norma's wall. We can visit it from here, and I can see that she completed the pro game. And she has her hat, her little diploma, and she completed the pro e-learning, and she completed the pro game as well. Now, when Norma first started playing this game, she sent me an email, or she commented on my wall and said, I updated my account and I can't get to the Finding Business game. The e-learning is not opened. And so all I did was click through on her wall and took a look here, and she didn't have this hat. And so that told me that either 1, she didn't finish her e-learning, or 2, she didn't pass her e-learning. And as it turned out, one of the quizzes, it only had 2 questions on it. She got 1 question wrong. You must get an 80% or above on every e-learning module, every quiz, in order to move on to the next class. And so when you have a team like this terrific team, what was it? Terrific team number 10, and people are saying, oh, I can't get to the e-learning. Oh, I can't get to my scorecard. You need to go to their wall. And well, first you need to go to your roster and see, are they in the free account? Or did they? This is because they're in Finding Business. When they were in Professionalism game, they were still free trial. Now, if they never record a single score, they will still be in a free trial. And so, in order to move on, they need to. This is progressive, and so you take Professionalism first, and you record scores and become accountable and take actions and learn from the e-learning. Then you upgrade to player and move on to Finding Business. So you can see here that the only person that's upgraded is Norma. So the thing for a leader to do is to get on the phone or go over to the wall. Since they're really not my team players, what I do is go over to the wall, terrific team number 10. And I did this, I think, a couple days ago. I see Norma's upgraded to player. This game has lots of great ways to find business for direct sellers for only $9.95 a month. You can't beat that lead generation campaign. Let's go, ladies. Every direct seller wants more business. And so as a leader, I would use this piece of information to help them to figure out why they're not being able to access the e-learning, and also to see to try to coach them into participating, because when they allow this program to teach them how to run a professional business, how to find business, and then move on into recruiting, which we're going to show you some of those other modules, it frees you up to coach them one-on-one. And so here we are. Let's see, where's Norma? Didn't record any scores. Let's go back. The other thing that I just wanted to show you, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, is how to use your scorecard to see what's going on with your team. Now here's terrific team number 9, and they also are playing Finding Business, but they started on the 31st. Now you'll notice here that not only do I change the name when I launch their next game, in other words, Terrific Team number 9 is always Terrific Team number 9. I just messed it up. Terrific Team number 9 is always Terrific Team number 9. But this round, they're Terrific Team number 9 FB, and then next round they're going to be Terrific Team number 9 HPP. And it's a way for me and them to notice what's going on and to know where they're playing now. But also I make a note here in the description that they started Pro on the 27th. They started Finding Business on the 31st. And then, I guess it's tomorrow, I'll be launching them into Home Party Plan, provided they record scores. So you'll notice here that this is the same exact situation. Carolyn Rogers is recording scores. She upgraded. She actually upgraded to a lead player, which means she can form her own team. And she's recorded 14 days worth of activity. And the other two have not. So that's why if they log in, they're not going to be able to see the e-learning, and they're not going to be able to get to their scorecard because they haven't upgraded. What was I going to show you here? Oh, so another way to use this tool to coach your team is to just go to the points, and you actually click on their points, and now you can see their scorecard. Now you'll notice that Carolyn, not to pick on her or anything, has been pretty regular in coming every day and playing the game. She has read an article on the CashFlow Show each day, almost, which means she's doing her e-learning, and she's checked her email every day. And then down at the bottom here, she participated in some of the live meetings and entered her scores each day, and yet hasn't done any of these other assignments that are going to help her to have a really solid business, to help her to market her business properly. So this would be a good time to call a team member and say, what part of this don't you understand? Or, what is, working on your list of why this is a terrific month to have a great show or to host a show, and can we do that? Let's do it together. Let's see how we can work on this to help you move forward, because it's obvious that this team member is consistent. And so you want to work with her, but you can use this information to coach. All right. Do we have any questions? Anybody, if you'd like to type a question into the chat box, feel free. If anybody has a microphone, if you raise your hand on the bottom, you can see the hand raising button. I can unmute you if you want to talk, or you can type into the chat box. This is the CashFlow Show Leaders webinar, and so anybody that's joined us for the Direct Sales Recruiting University, that will start at 9:15. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box. I want to show you some of the upcoming classes that you can take. And this game is designed to leverage your leadership, to leverage your ability to train your team. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box. I'm going to make this full screen again for you, and I'll check back on the questions in a minute because I don't see anybody typing. All right. Let's see here. Where was I? Oh, the e-learning. This is progressive. It's designed to leverage a team leader's time. I mean, I'm sure that all of you who have gone through the professionalism game understands the value of getting your team into the professionalism game. The beauty of it is that it's free, and it gets them really solid foundation into a direct sales business, because a lot of people don't know how to kind of motivate themselves, manage their time when working from home. There's people who either just try to squeeze it in, and then there's other people who just work all the time. And so the professionalism course teaches you a little bit of balance so you can be consistent, but it also sets you up for success in finding business. Now, I'm not sure. I think most people are probably already moved into finding business, but this is required. First you take professionalism. You must get an 80% or above, and then you must record scores. If you don't get an 80% or above on each quiz, and you don't record any scores, then the Finding Business module won't open up for you in the way of e-learning. Every direct seller wants more business. And so I'm not going to run through all these classes, but what you're going to find here is audio recordings, videos, ways to generate interest, market your business, and create desire. Because this module is designed to help consultants not be needy. When you operate your business from a need-based mentality, it's really hard to find bookings because you always need something. But this explains how to use other word choices besides bookings, how to generate leads. It explains the concept of volume, where to look for leads, how to have a solid year-round business, creative ways to get more bookings at your shows. It has an hour-long video on vendor events and how to generate leads by offering yourself as a workshop presenter, 10 ways in 10 days to find business, just on and on and on. And so anybody that takes this course will have unlimited supply of leads. And marketing this class to your people, the benefit, even if they quit after they take this class, of spending $9.95 to take this class and have a solid business for the rest of their lives. And so this takes a lot of pressure off a leader. And think about it. If you put some leaders through this class, or even just new consultants, you might have trouble now converting your team to the game as far as training modules, but when you put new people through this game, it's so duplicatable. And when those new people start bringing in people, they'll be more than happy to put their team through this game because it's easy for them to teach. Nobody has the time to teach this much content on a regular basis to incoming people all the time, and so it will free you up to manage your team better. And so it's recommended, it's not recommended, it's required that teams go through professionalism first, then Finding Business. Now after that, the party plan presentation is strongly recommended. Even if you're not in party plan, I still would recommend it, but it's not required because we understand that everybody here is not in party plan. But the party plan presentation program teaches you, this is basically the cash flow show. This is about how to create consistent income from your home party business, and it's all about what Create a Cash Flow Show is all about. Host coaching, perfecting your presentation. It encourages your consultants to go out and observe shows. It teaches them how to script their open to the show. In other words, a good show has a plan, and so this is a step-by-step plan on how to have a good show, how to reduce cancellations, how to incorporate some of the strong points of infomercials into your show, theme shows, the value of games, how to do an effective prize drawing slip. This is all about the party plan show. And so by the time a team has gone from professionalism to Finding Business, whoops, what am I doing here? Back it up, Deb. When you've gone from professionalism to Finding Business to home party plan presentation, that's 6 weeks. It's a lot of material. Now we're looking at this is the e-learning roster, and you'll notice here on the left that I have achieved these certificates. That means that I've finished these courses. But it's highly recommended that you take your team through that progression and follow that with Balanced Business 101. Now Balanced Business 101 is nothing new. It's 4 simple modules. And what it is the scorecard is the same. The scorecard takes everything that you've learned from professionalism, finding business, and home party plan, and puts it on a scorecard with just a couple of four new modules. Nothing, just 4 little articles about how to balance life and business, how to be consistent, how to be congruent so that you can stick with it. But the goal is that once they've put 6 weeks into all that learning, the team could literally spend 3 to 4 game sessions in balanced business. And at that time, you'd be continuing to coach them. How's your business plan coming? Let's do this at our next meeting. Let's work on, creating desire and reinforcing all the learning that they're getting in the game, in your coaching and in your meetings and your education that you're providing outside the game. And so you leave all the hard stuff to the game. So when your team's ready to move on, I noticed that Barbara Harkness and Cheryl, I think it was Cheryl, went from finding business to recruiting 101, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're going from a ton of information to a ton of information. Literally. And so recruiting 101, recruiting 102, and recruiting 103 are a series event. Now, once you pay your $12, it's an upcharge. You get all 3, and you can take all 3 of them 10 times if you want. And what the recruiting 101, 102, and 103 are is the recorded version of the Direct Sales Recruiting University. And so recruiting 101 is webinar number 1 and webinar number 2, and it's 2 one-hour webinars designed to be taken at 1-week intervals. It includes all the handouts that go with the Direct Sales Recruiting University, but it's self-education, and there's a lot of activities. This is the activities in week 1, and then the activities in week 2. And so once a team takes Recruiting 101, I heard Barbara saying it's a lot. After she took Finding Business, she wished that she followed the progression the way I recommended it. And so if she wants to, I was telling them they can go back and take Balanced Business for a couple games and then come back to Recruiting 101 and take it again if they want. Or they can play Recruiting 101 twice, the game itself, because that way it engages you on the scorecard. Even though you already watched the webinar, if you're not going to move on right away, you might as well continue to engage on the scorecard. And so the recruiting courses are a series, and you can take them one right after another. In the Direct Sales Recruiting University, we take them in a 6-week progression, and so that's the way they're set up here in a game, in 101, 102, and 103 recruiting. And so the last one, Recruiting 103, is 1 webinar, and then the action steps and a 2-week game. So then the other games that we have here are the leadership game. And the leadership game, we're going to have another leadership training. This is the last training call for the no-charge leadership training. Basically, it's for anybody can take it. You can play the game, or you can take the e-learning separately, whichever you want. But you'll notice that we have the past videos that we've had here, and we're going to put this one up tomorrow, and all you have to do is take a short quiz and you get your diploma. If you don't want to play the game, you don't get the trophy, that's okay. But what the game does is give you, the leader, the gaming accountability. Like, oh, did I check my social wall? Oh, did I greet my guests? Oh, did I go make a comment on my team wall? And so it's kind of a routine. Even if you only played it once, it kind of gets you in the routine of what it takes to be an effective leader in the game. So we're going to have another leadership game, and that's going to be got to have a lot of perks. It's not quite here yet, but including private coaching and things like that. So, oh, those aren't open for me. How am I going to get to them? Wait, I think I opened them over here. Yes. All right, so just real quick, because it's time to wrap this up. This is supposed to be 30 minutes, and I'm talking too much. Social media marketing. Anytime that your team wants to enroll into recruiting or social media marketing, after they must take pro, then they take finding business, and then they can go anywhere they want. The recommended course of study to get the most out of it and to not overwhelm your team would be to have them go pro, finding business, home party plan, and then balance business. And then your team can branch out. You might have teams in social media, and the social media talks about a lot of different things about your online presence, about how to increase your traffic to your direct sales website, how to use social media marketing effectively as a direct seller, how to get leads on Facebook, different applications on Facebook, how to avoid broken links. So many people don't even know how to type a link in, and so if you're not doing it correctly, you're going to have broken links. Seems pretty basic, but how to create an online brand. Does it look the same in Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn? Do you have some continuity? Twitter for direct sellers, Nings, which is another social media way to find niche marketing. LinkedIn, including applications for LinkedIn. Most people don't put too much effort into their LinkedIn wall. Automation, in other words, what can you do to make your social media presence easier? And YouTube, because YouTube is social media marketing as well. And so this is a pretty balanced program, and it's followed by Social Media Marketing 102, which I haven't put together yet. It's half put together. And then I have one more game that's already launched, and we already have a team that played it. It's kind of a fun game. CashFlowShow TV. The CashFlowShow TV is basically 2 weeks worth of YouTube channel. Like, we have over 300 videos on YouTube, and so I picked out one a day. Actually, there's 16. So and the longest one's 9 minutes. I call this a maintenance game. If your team played balanced business, and that they're really working on finding business and some of the actions that came before, you might put them through the CashFlowShow TV because it's fun. It's just fun. It's got the same scorecard that you'll have coming out of finding business, and it's reinforcing. There's like a 2-minute video on how to get return calls, a 2-minute video on how to have fun at your shows, a 4-minute video on Nikki Keoho talking about pyramid schemes. There's one with me dancing. So there's all different kinds. So this is just a fun game. And so those are the games, the e-learning that go with them. We have a Social Media 102 coming out and a Leadership 102 coming out. And I'm going to open this up to see if anybody has any questions. Where's my toggle view? If anybody has a question that they'd like to type in, I see we lost a couple of our people, but that's okay. Maybe they were Direct Sales Recruiting University people. And we're going to put this onto the Leadership Training e-learning center. You notice on this grid that talks about the different events, the different e-learning, that there are no requirements to take the leadership training. You can take the e-learning even if you don't play the game. It's the only one that has no requirements because we want people to lead their teams. So Vicki has a new team member. What do I tell her to get started? Well, the first thing you want to do, Vicki, is go to your game tab, and you want to form a team for tomorrow. So you go here to, let me make this big. Alright, you go to your game tab, then you go to lead a team, and then my teams are already launched, but you type in the name of your team, So this will be terrific team number 15, and they're going to be starting actually next week. So then I pick a picture, find a picture. Do I have a picture that I can find really quick? Well, I'll come back for that. You can put a picture in, and then your team description. This is for consultants, my team, that do not have a leader, starting on, that'll be, what is it, 9/21? If it's not right, I'll change it in a minute. So you launch your team like this. Create team. Simple as that. Team is created. I can come back and put a picture in. Since I didn't put a picture in, it put that picture in, which is cool. So now I'm going to launch the game for them. The team is created. Terrific team number 15. Now if you have a player that just joined and you want them to start tomorrow, they're going to play the professionalism game. And then you pick for tomorrow, which is the 14th. And then you start game. But I want this team to start on the 21st because I already have a game starting tomorrow. So then I just start the game. Are you sure you want to play the game? Well, yes, I think I do, but I want to, first I want to do something here. Where is it? Oh, I know what I'm doing. You know what? I'm in the wrong account. So I'm not going to do it, okay? Because I don't want a team. Well, I can delete it later, I guess. All right, so you start the game. Okay. I'm in the wrong account, but that's okay. Now, all you have to do now is go down here and type in the name of the person that you want to join this team. And you find them. And there's all the people who have Deb in their name. And now I can add them to my team. And I think I just did that. So terrific team, select team. There it is. I launched this. This looks kind of screwy because I launched this team in the admin section of the game itself. So I'm going to have to delete it. But you notice that I created the game. I launched a game. I created the team. I launched the game. I searched for my member and I added them to the team. As a leader, you can add anybody you want to your team and they're automatically going to be a member. But if a consultant finds your team and asks to join, you have to approve them first. Okay, that's how you get them started, Vicki. Any other questions? Oh, I see you have a microphone. Guess I could give you admin rights, couldn't I? I think I gave you a microphone, Vicki. If you want to talk, down at the bottom there's a button that says talk hands-free. So I create a new team, launch it, tell her to go to CashFlowShow Game and join. Tell her to go to CashFlowShowGame.com/your username, and then she'll automatically be your friend. Hi, Vicki. I can hear you, barely, but yes, I can hear you. Yeah. And so what you want to do is go back and look at all those leadership videos, because we talked about, like, you could have a team ready to go for, like I do now. I have one for tomorrow ready to go. I have one for the 21st ready to go. I can put one in for the 28th ready to go. And that way, as people join, and if you send them to CashFlowShowGame.com/your username, they'll automatically be your friends. As soon as you see them, you add them to the next game that starts. Does that make sense? Right. Okay. And I don't think Colleen can hear what you're saying, but I think she could hear my answer. So go back and look at all the videos, because all these things we've talked about on different levels over the last 3 weeks, and I think you'll really get a good feel for how how to keep the teams moving forward, because you don't have to. Once you form a team, once they're on a team, they can stay on that team. They don't have to. You don't have to form a new team. They just keep changing their direction. You know, they take the next game. Okay? Anybody else? Any other? All right, very good. I'm glad. Anybody else have any questions? All right, excellent. All right, well, why don't we, we're going to get off the line. I'm going to go take my dog for a quick walk because we're going to have the Direct Sales Recruiting University soon. And well, we've been going 40 minutes. I'm late. I promised to keep these calls to 30 minutes, and I talk too much. All right, we will be on the direct. All right, we'll see you on the game board, and if you have any questions, just let me know. We'll have another webinar. You know, I think next week we'll skip, see how it's going, because there's a lot of webinars for everybody to watch until they have more questions. I think that'll answer most of the questions. So good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again, and we'll see you on the game board. Good night.